This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're gonna acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? Guys and girls, welcome back to another edition of the SmackDown Review right here on the WWE Podcast. As always, I am one of the hosts of this show, Michael Ritter, a.k.a. Psycho Myco. You can find me on Twitter at Michael5Ritter, and also one of the hosts of the Football Function podcast, available on all of your podcasting platforms. Joining me on this episode, which is going to be a little bit different, get to that here in just a moment, my humble co-host, my typical co-host here, John Carrasco, a.k.a. Juicy John. You can find him on Twitter at Big Speaker, BIGG_speaker. But, John, how you doing? First things first.
Well, I mean, of course, like Mike said, we got doing a little something different here, so we're trying to knock out, like, this first part of everything. But, I mean, of course, I am glad to be back. Of course, man, I went through a little stomach bug, whatever the hell, whatever it was, man. I was just out of it. So, I mean, I'm glad to be back. I'm ready to knock this out. And, yeah, let's get to it.
No doubt, no doubt. So the difference here is, number one, it's 7:01 p.m. right now, which Central Time, so it's 8:01 likely where you are, or depending on where you are. I have no idea where you are, where you're listening to this, but 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, where SmackDown started right now. Me and John are doing this different. He's doing a little bit of a softball trip. He's going to be traveling overnight, so we are going to be doing this SmackDown review live. We're literally going to be watching these segments, pausing the record, and obviously touching on it, during commercial breaks. As we're talking right now, we're currently watching the video package showing what happened on Monday Night Raw. Obviously a big topic, a big talking point here throughout the week. So this is going to be something I can't wait to talk about. I mean, just thinking about it, I told you earlier today I got some stuff to say about this.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to getting into that. But I did want to kind of preface right away. We had to get on here, do the intro before we get into, actually pausing the show and, actually starting to break down these segments. But that's the main thing I did want to get to here is just, letting the listeners know that the show audio-wise might be a little bit different. But I think it's going to be fun. This is a live show. We're actually watching the show. So I think it's going to be pretty awesome. And I can't wait to get into it. But on that note, we're going to go ahead and pause it, and we'll be back. We're going to talk about the opening segment of SmackDown. Okay, so opening segment wasn't really an actual segment. It was just backstage stuff, but it started how we expected it to. The Bloodline pulling up in their blacked out vehicle. Paul Heyman was there waiting to greet them. And I was kind of curious who was going to come out of this thing, because I was curious if they were going to show Jay immediately in the show. That's the thing. I wasn't sure. And just a little bit of set the stage really quickly. The way that we break this down is going to be different than the way that we do typically, because it's like I was talking to John earlier whenever we decided we were going to do this, was at the end of the show, whenever we typically do the SmackDown review, if I could spit that out, I don't know why I'm struggling with that word today, but either way, whenever we typically do our review show, we have the whole show as a full painted picture to look at it, and we know which video packages were meaningful, what it ended up leading to, the point of it all, so to speak. So it is going to be a little bit different breaking it down video package by video package. We'll kind of let the show play out in that sense. Right now we're watching Karrion Kross come out. They're opening the show with the Fatal 5-Way match that determines the number one contender for Gunther's Intercontinental Championship. But quickly here, the way that the show opened, like we said, Bloodline pulls up. Jay immediately asks, "Where's the tribal chief?" Straight face, very straight face. So that right there tells you, everything isn't all sunshine and rainbows regardless of what happened on Monday Night Raw. And then Scarlett's coming out. Very easy to get distracted here. That's why we don't do this live typically whenever Scarlett's coming out. But either way, getting the train back on the tracks here. Paul Heyman basically tells Jey Uso that he's proud of him. We all know what he's referring to, saying that he's proud of him. But Jey blows it off. He tells Heyman, "All right, well, you tell Roman that I'm here." Kayla Braxton approaches. She asks why. Why did you turn on Sami Zayn? And he says, "Everything I need to say, I'm going to answer in that ring tonight." Looking forward to that segment. Cannot wait to see how that plays out. But what was your thoughts, I suppose, on the way that they opened the show?
Well, I kind of thought that's how it was going to start, some Bloodline video packages to kind of start us going off and kind of just, further the road for us, I guess you could say. But The way that Jay, that you said, he straight up asked, man, you definitely know that he's in for business tonight. And like you said, he's going to want to say exactly what's on his mind and get what's on his mind across to everybody else as well. So that's something I'm definitely looking forward to.
Yeah, no doubt. So we're going to go ahead and watch this Fatal 5-Way. Definitely looking forward to see who wins this. But we'll be right back right after this match. All right, the Fatal 5-Way is officially over. And we have our number one contender, or do we? Because I don't really know. It was actually kind of crazy the way this match played out. But anyways, the match itself, would you say roughly around 25 minutes? Around 25 minutes for a Fatal 5-Way?
Yeah, a good amount of time.
Good chunk. And we talk about it all the time. A good long match to start the show will always set you up to really handle business, to really focus in on those promos and storyline development, which we do get to a little bit of that as well once we get past this Fatal 5-Way. But just really quickly, here's some notes I have from this match. The alliance between LA Knight and Karrion Kross, that was pretty cool. We got to see it form and crumble. It lasted a whole, 3-4 minutes, but it was effective.
The punch to him was just funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was going so well, and then he just turns around and does
Yeah,
that.
definitely caught me off guard for sure. Imperium comes out after watching on the Jumbotron, or I guess on a TV backstage. They come out and watch from the stage just to kind of get a better view from this or for this match. When Sheamus did the all around the ring, when he did the 10 beats,
The Baron?
yes, to Karrion Kross, to LA Knight, to Xavier Woods. Yes, he did it to all three of them, and I thought he was going to continue going all the way around until obviously, Drew McIntyre had other plans. But what do we call that? Just all around the world? I didn't really know what we could call that, but I guess maybe we could think about it if he continues to do that. That right there deserves a name. Because Shane McMahon does the coast to coast when he jumps off the top rope, right into a trash can when you're sitting there in the bottom turnbuckle. That's just one thing I noticed. But the way that this match ended really didn't do it for me.
Oh, no.
I didn't like the ref coming in there. They both feel the need to pin. Since when is that legal? Since when is that okay, this is the decision? That's something that I really didn't understand. But nonetheless, Sheamus hits somebody with a bro kick. Drew McIntyre hits somebody with a Claymore. Couldn't tell you exactly who, but nonetheless, they both successfully get the 3 count because there were 2 officials out there for whatever reason. And we find out that, it's likely going to be a triple threat. The crowd was chanting triple threat. I don't know if it was an implanted fan in the crowd to start that chant just to get us behind the triple threat. I don't know. All I know is we knew that this was probably going to happen. We talked about it last week, or I talked about it whenever Drew McIntyre came out and he called Gunther, and then Sheamus came out. Just those 3. I was like, ooh, this looks good of a triple threat. And then obviously about 3 more people came out, and it kind of derailed that idea. But now I think this is a way for them to get us there. Might not agree with it. Definitely can, nitpick that for sure, because I feel like it could have happened a little bit more logically. You still have a few more weeks to go. Maybe they will somehow work this out, but I don't know. I didn't really approve of that. But if we are getting a triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship between Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre, you can definitely sign me up.
Oh, yeah, definitely not mad at that. I would definitely want to tune into that. But the only thing I could take from here, I feel like Drew, Sheamus, they get a little bit of substance to their, I guess you could say, story that they got going on, with being a tag team and then all of a sudden having a little breakup. Maybe they're doing this just to, put something behind them, make us believe that they're going to end up hating each other, maybe along the line, or maybe they come back together and be something special, I guess you could say. But other than that, that's what I kind of took from it all, and can't complain about. Well, actually, I am going to complain about the
ending,
the winner or winners, I guess.
Just the finish of the match.
Yeah, don't like that.
Lazy
of course,
booking.
I would be all in for a triple threat, but I do not like the way that ended.
It was just it was really deflating to what was a pretty entertaining Fatal 5-Way. That's how it's going to end? Are you kidding me? But, whatever. I guess it is what it is. I'll enjoy it still. I'll enjoy the triple threat. Whenever I'm watching the match, I don't think I'm going to be nitpicking about how we got there. I'll probably just be enjoying it on WrestleMania Sunday. Right after that match is over, we got Kayla Braxton with a backstage interview with Paul Heyman. She tried to get more scoop on Jey Uso's actions, using her words, and just basically what was behind what he did on Monday Night Raw. Paul Heyman was not listening at all. He basically ignored that question completely and immediately calls out Cody Rhodes for involving himself in bloodline business, considering that family is supposed to be the one thing that's off limits for Cody Rhodes. So he finds that a little bit condescending, or what's the word I'm looking for? You know,
I'd say condescending.
oh, I don't know, man. I don't think condescending is the right word. Contradicting.
Okay.
Yes, contradicting maybe is the word that I'm actually looking for. Yes, so I'm sorry if I sound like a total stooge, but either way, you know what I'm trying to get. The word was on the tip of my tongue, and I knew I didn't say the right one, so that's all that matters. But nonetheless, he goes on to acknowledge that Cody is the one guy that he didn't want to see face Roman Reigns because he is pretty much everything that he, without saying it, he pretty much says that Cody Rhodes is the one person who's capable of beating Roman because of just the challenge that he presents. And then he talks about the specific approach that they're going to take to beating Cody and how they're going to crush him with the truth. So he'll be defeated long before WrestleMania. What did you take away from this backstage segment with Paul Heyman and Caleb Braxton?
Well, the thing that got me was just how he seemed distracted at the beginning whenever, of course, she was asking him about the Usos and stuff like that. So, I mean, that kind of it makes it seem like it's more of a problem than what they got going on with Cody Rhodes, So, I mean, he doesn't want to hear it, it seems like, it's kind of just coming in, coming out. And ultimately, I think that's what's going to be the bigger problem here. The problem with Jay, whatever he has to say coming down the road, I guess you could say. So, yeah, that's what I took from it. Didn't really look too much into or hear too much into the Cody Rhodes type thing, I guess you could say, just because myself, I'm looking past it.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we got that coming down the road and everything, but I just don't think Cody Rhodes has something, or is that big of a factor, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I totally get that. Up next, let's see. We get Sheamus and Drew bickering backstage. Gets broken up by the Brawling Brutes. Sheamus, some of the things they say, quote, some of the lines and the quotes that you can take away from their altercations, it's comedy stuff. It's brilliant.
I mean, I like the commercials that they're even in.
Yes.
How they just put them into that where they're beating each other up over the food stuff.
Yep.
I think if they keep doing that, they're just running with a good formula on just catching people's attentions.
Do you remember the 24/7 title?
Yep.
How they tried to force so much comedy with that thing, and it was just cringeworthy because it just wasn't funny. Drew and Sheamus aren't trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But they are. That's the beauty of it, is that they're actually, whenever you get organic comedy from WWE, that's always the brilliant stuff. However, we got the first inductee to the 2023 class of Hall of Fame, or the 2023 WWE Hall of Fame class. Somebody from our era.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio. Hey, I'm sorry I didn't join you in that. Let's one more time. Well deserved, but kind of strange the timing, I'm going to admit. Still being on the active roster. Still being current. I just feel like that kind of goes away. That takes away from everything what the Hall of Fame is supposed to be, as a reflection after your wrestling days are over, in my personal opinion. In the NFL, you got to wait 5 years. You have to be retired for 5 whole seasons before you can be eligible for the Hall of Fame. I understand that WWE is a little bit different, but still active on the roster. It's a little bit weird, but I'm not going to bicker about it. He deserves it nonetheless. I'm going to enjoy it. Just really quickly, one time for Rey Mysterio, I want to get a quick booyaka out there because obviously he is a living legend. Obviously 619, and he is somebody who is not present in the studio here in Funky Town, because we got wrestlers. I mean, just looking to my left, we got Drew McIntyre, John Cena, Goldberg, all 3 members of the NWO, Bret Hart, Stacy Keibler, Ric Flair, Eddie Guerrero, and there's a list of guys right behind me. Some guys over here on John's desk. Also, Brock Lesnar, Hulk Hogan, 2 Canes, Shawn Michaels over there with some anime guys. There's definitely some representation in here, but it's not because he isn't welcome. Obviously, Cody Rhodes over there on the corner. Oh, yeah. But it's not because...
First thing you see.
It's not because we don't want Ray in here, I've eBayed, I've tried to find one, but I'm not going to lie. Some of the action figures that have come out for Rey Mysterio over the past few years haven't necessarily been my cup of tea. Now, if they make an ultimate Rey Mysterio and it, was a vintage outfit, then I'll buy that sucker for sure. But, I definitely... I want to find one that suits me and the version of Rey Mysterio that I remember. I had a WCW unmasked Rey Mysterio action figure back in the day, when I was actually a young child. And also, how did I forget? Sting right there on your desk as well. The mic's kind of blocking that. But nonetheless, Rey Mysterio comes out to embrace the crowd. Doesn't get to say a freaking word before whose music hits. Don't you tell me?
I don't even want to say it either, but I mean, I'm going to have to Dom's. I mean, of course,
the Judgment Day as a group, yeah.
Well, I mean,
But who had the mic? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, of course, he comes out, man, and it's just total
Buzzkill.
I'm telling you, dude. I mean, you said it off air, like right before. Something might happen whenever the inductee, or the ceremony.
The night before WrestleMania.
Yeah. So I mean, and freaking perfect example right there. Dom comes out and interrupts what could have been a good speech.
Exactly. Yes.
Good promo.
So I didn't really get the interruption, but hey, it's all to continue this storyline, to continue to develop it, and like we did say off air is. Like, just think of the weekend that Rey Mysterio was about to have for WrestleMania. Get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And let's just hope and pray that they could leave the storyline alone for that night. Like, I would love to see Rey Mysterio just get inducted. But even after that, facing his son at WrestleMania after you just got inducted into Hall of Fame, like, dude, what else do you want? Yeah. You think he's going to continue wrestling after that? That is the perfect walk off into the sunset. Or, in his case, Hurricanrana off into the sunset.
Nice.
But nonetheless, like you said, Judgment Day comes out. They're bad-mouthing Rey Mysterio. I don't even know word for word what Dominic was saying. To be honest, he kind of goes in one ear and out the other, especially whenever you factor in the circumstances and the context of the situation, which is him interrupting his father's embrace of his Hall of Fame induction, which did not sit well with me, but I understand why. I understand everything that happened. However, as a Rey Mysterio fan, booyaka, definitely want to see him get the respect he deserves, and I'm not alone there. Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma also think that Rey Mysterio deserves a little bit more respect than what his own flesh and blood is offering him right now on SmackDown. So they come out and they talk about how they're supposed to have a match tonight, LDF versus the Judgment Day, which, shout out to Judgment Day, a bunch of Raw guys over here wrestling on SmackDown. You think you're going to beat Legado del Fantasma? We'll see about that, because that match is going on right now. It's actually what we're watching. Finn Balor just tagged in Damian Priest. He's going one-on-one with
Cruz del Toro.
Yeah, Cruz del Toro. Okay, see, John a little bit slow here. He's watching the match. So yeah, it's definitely
actually Joaquin.
Joaquin. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, this is live. This is live. That's the beauty of these live shows.
I know the names. I just didn't see the names.
You got confused. Hey, it's all right. You should hear some of the mess ups I have on the football function, but some good action here going on. A beautiful 6-man tag match. We got Rhea Ripley and Zelina Vega supporting their respective factions at ringside. This is a bunch of young up-and-coming talent, though. Not trying to break it down, play-by-play broadcast, but man, when you look at the talent that's in this ring, you know how I feel about LDF and their leader, specifically Santos Escobar, and what he means in his addition to the storyline and this program as a whole with Rey Mysterio. I feel like it has added a dimension that I feel like it desperately needed. And obviously, you look at Finn Balor. Dominic Mysterio is definitely the one that I need to see more from. He needs to definitely get better before he, is, I guess, deserving of being mentioned along in the same sentence with some of the wrestlers that he's walking with on a weekly. I mean, Rhea Ripley is a walking fire pit. Like, just with how you look at it, she's burning white hot right now. Oh, yeah. And she cannot miss. One of the most over women's wrestlers in the company right now. But I guess we're going to go ahead and get into watching this match. We will be back right after it ends, and we'll be talking about who won and why. All right. The match ended with, a little bit of outside, you don't want to say interference, but that is what it is. We get Zelina Vega interacting a little bit with Rhea Ripley, an attempted Hurricanrana, which she gets thrown into her own faction, Legado del Fantasma. Rey Mysterio doesn't quite like that. He tries to approach Rhea Ripley, which right away we were like, what the hell? Why are you approaching her? You won't even respond whenever your son slaps you in the face, but if somebody else who is a girl will do something, you're going to stand up to her. That just seemed a little bit weird, but Dominic Mysterio does the baseball slide, taking him out, and then he gets rolled up. And then the referee is trying to prevent Rey Mysterio from climbing back into the ring, which all that did was cost LDF the match, because Damian Priest comes in, hits him with a super kick. Him as in Joaquin?
No, it was Cruz del Toro that got.
Cruz del Toro?
Yeah, he's the one that got hit.
That's on me. But okay. Yeah, super kick right to the top of the head. And 1, 2, 3, Dominic Mysterio steals this one. And he gets the win. Not necessarily how we wanted this match to end, but nonetheless, the real action was after the match, because Dominic Mysterio tells Judgment Day, get out of the ring. I want the one-on-one, man-to-man conversation with my dad. Yeah. And his dad, Rey Mysterio, climbs into the ring. Obviously, Dominic tells him he doesn't understand why WWE is inducting him into the Hall of Fame in the first place, because the only Hall of Fame he deserves to go into is the Deadbeat Dad Hall of Fame. And he says, because, hey, let's face it, I should have been Eddie's son anyway. You would have heard a pin drop. The only other thing you probably would have heard, honestly, is some boos coming from some pretty pissed off fans. Ray tells him,
he deserved it.
Yeah, Ray tells him, hey, take that back. You know he didn't mean that, yada, yada, yada. Ray pushes his face, or Dominic pushes Ray's face. Sorry, getting a little tongue-tied here. And then, we're at that moment, we're both just, come on, Ray, come on, do something here, and obviously he doesn't, but Rey Mysterio tries to push him. However, he tries to cheap shot him from behind. And that's whenever Rey Mysterio drops down, pulls the second rope, Dom goes right through the ring, and we noticed that was the first time that he didn't just simply let Dominic hit him, that he actually moved and caused Dominic to look like a jackass flying out the ring. So I thought that was nice, a nice little twist there, because we hadn't really seen him do that yet. But what do you think about some of the antics and what Dominic said after the match?
Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but this dude is doing his freaking job and playing this little nuisance.
I'm glad. I like to see some personality from him.
Exactly. I mean, but if I had a kid, bro, and he was talking to me like this, I would have snapped already. I mean, forget the whole storyline. Me and you're going to do this thing already. Bang, bang. And then we can keep going if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
If you beat me up, fine. Kind of get it out of the way. But other than that, man, no. What you got going on right now is just totally disrespect, I guess you could say, from a...
Out of line.
I feel like I'm still the kid in the perspective, If I was talking to an adult like that, dude, I would have got my lips smacked off already type stuff. So, like I said, he's playing that role of a just disobedient kid, man, just doing it so well, and everybody's starting to hate it. Everybody's wanting him to get beat up by...
Pittsburgh wanted him to get beat up for sure.
Exactly. So, I mean, he's doing his thing, but the way that Ray is going about it, I guess you could say, is definitely like a slow burn, He doesn't want to fight him. He was saying that,
I'm not going to fight you, doesn't matter.
Have a match with him and stuff like that. But Dom, on the other hand, is, oh, yeah, you will type stuff. So, I mean, eventually, we'll get there. But Ray needs to just pick it up a little bit. Just, pick up the freaking chancla or the belt or something.
Take the belt off.
Yeah, type stuff.
Are we allowed to say that now? Take the belt off?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're taking the belt off.
Okay. Making sure. Just making sure. I know that.
Man. I mean, like I said, Dom, he's just starving, and Ray is just kind of going away, man. Just fading away in that little disrespect. Just
announced right here on the screen. We're watching this live. Jimmy Allen will be performing America the Beautiful WrestleMania Sunday. So that's something you guys look forward there. Ooh, Adam Pearce walking up. We'll be right back. Sorry about that. A really quick backstage segment. Adam Pearce is approached by Charlotte Flair, and she says, hey, it's WrestleMania season. I want a match. Yeah, she's talking about tonight. I was kind of confused at first when she said, I want a match. It's WrestleMania season. I was like, did you forget that you do have a match? Rhea Ripley, WrestleMania? But she's referring to tonight, and apparently Adam Pearce is going to grant her wish and give her a match. The only thing I noticed here in this segment, Charlotte's outfit, the full blue, I don't know what kind of suit it was, but it was even covering her hands, just... As a representative here of the Blue Brand Brawlers, and obviously SmackDown Review, we're blue all the way. So the fact that she's decked out and with that blue championship there, you got to appreciate it.
Yeah, she definitely came out looking good, But man, tell me she's not a little flirty in this whole little situation.
She is
sticking the tongue out and stuff like that. She knows what she's doing. She knows she's getting some strings pulled for her tonight. So yeah, long day at work. He's not happy to see me. Yeah. I'm happy to see the champ. Come on. He's doing his own little flirt thing, but he's trying. He's playing it smoothly, I guess you could say, trying to take the low road. But I feel he knows what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good little interaction right there.
As we're watching right now, Braun Strowman and Ricochet are about to have a tag team match. Not really sure who they're going up against. Was it announced before the commercial break? I just know they had tag team action, and we muted it to use that commercial break to discuss multiple things. We're just going to go ahead. Oh, Viking Raiders. Okay. So we're going to get Viking Raiders versus Ricochet and Braun Strowman. Obviously, Ricochet and Braun Strowman are my prediction to win this. We'll see what happens. However, while they're making their entrance and before we stop recording to watch this match, what are your thoughts on 2K23 coming out? Just obviously, next Friday, I believe, is whenever it's officially coming out. Are you excited? What are you most excited for? Are you going to get it? I guess I should ask.
Well, of course, I'm going to get it. My level of excitement for it has kind of went down. I guess just playing over the last year and stuff, the 2K22. But, The thing I am looking forward to, I guess, is like the online play. That's supposed to be like a little bit more better of an experience, I guess you could say. But I mean, definitely wasn't mad about the last year's copy and everything like that. I did have fun. I was holding the belts for a little bit, or the Universal belt for a little while. Got taken away from Kevin Owens, a little slick dog. But yeah, man, I did enjoy it, and yeah, I am looking forward to buying it, I guess you could say.
Are you looking forward to fighting me while I'm Cody Rhodes and you're Roman Reigns?
Man, whenever you're ready to set that matchup, bang, bang, let's go.
It'll be here. It'll be here very soon.
yeah.
But speaking of being here, the referee's splitting them up right now. We're about to get a tag team match. Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Viking Raiders. We'll be right back to break this bad boy down. And to my surprise, we get the Viking Raiders winning this one. What'd you take away from this?
Well, man, this one wasn't my cup of tea.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I haven't liked any of the finals.
The decisions?
Or the decisions to the end of the matches, I guess you could say.
I agree with that.
But this one, I mean, I kind of felt like it was more in favor of Braun and Ricochet just because they're upcoming, I guess you could say. But I guess the Viking Raiders are starting to get that little push that they've been looking
They
for.
are.
I guess
mean,
you could
it
say.
seems like with how they've been featured, it seems like it's been coming over the past few weeks.
Yeah, and then I mean, just their approach to everything. I mean, it seems like they're like fluid, I guess you could say, like getting a little bit more comfortable with like some of the competitors that they're going against in the ring. So I mean, their moves are starting to look a little bit more. What would you say, like polished?
Polished, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I can't say that I'm really mad at it. I mean, I do. Braun Strowman, man, whenever he took that little off the, he got kicked and then he hit the, what would you say, little barricade?
The apron? The barricade. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
The
LED.
The splash by Ivar whenever he
Yes.
does those. I like those. I like that move just because he's a big guy. And, I mean, he does a lot of high-flying
For his size,
stuff
he's
that
injured
you-
himself doing stuff like that, yeah.
You wouldn't want to see from a guy
Heavyweight.
that size, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's impressive. Eric, I mean, he's kind of the harder one to get behind. I guess he seems like more of the brutal person because the way that he kind of approached like Braun,
Yeah.
he was like, "What, you want some next?" type stuff, Kind of gave me a little chuckle. I was like, "Bro, let Ricochet tag him in so you can get beat up real quick." That's what I was kind of thinking whenever that. But another part, whenever kind of made me chuckle was whenever Braun he was making those loud footsteps
Coming up, trying to let us know his big ass was coming up the steps.
That was so funny to me, man. But other than that, I mean, I thought it was a decent match. Like I said, didn't like the ending to it. I mean,
Yeah.
Ivar did get that nasty spin kick to Ricochet and went up top, did a little frog splash, I guess you could say, and got the 1, 2, 3.
I think Eric's the whitest wrestler on the roster right now.
Oh no, Sheamus.
I don't know, man.
Sheamus shines, bro, in white light.
Eric has ink on him, and it still looks like, dude, oh my gosh, what's it? We might have a competition there because that is a Sheamus might have finally found someone worthy of challenging him.
I'm still on the Sheamus side of that.
Okay. Maybe have to see those two next to each other before I fully determine. But we go backstage. Imperium is talking to Adam Pearce. Gunther is telling him, hey, you had one job, and that was to find me the next worthy challenger for my Intercontinental Championship. Challenger is singular, not plural. So what are we going to do here? He's criticizing Adam Pearce's ability to do his job, saying that he's lost control of his staff, yada, 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 yada. And we get a decision by Adam Pearce. He says that next week on SmackDown, we're going to get a one-on-one match. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. The winner is the number one contender. Do you expect some flukiness to happen here? Do you expect something to shake this up to make it still be a triple threat at the end of the day? Because they could set it up right now to where it's Gunther week after week trying to say, what are you going to do? Who's my opponent? Who's my opponent? No, only one, but for whatever reason, one person is never the outcome. And they just continuously, for the next few weeks, give us two winners, basically, or just a non-clean finish to where we have no choice but to do a triple threat. Do you think there's any possible way that we go down that route?
I mean, I see it. I mean, of course, just the way that the two guys are approaching the whole situation, Drew and Sheamus, that is. Of course, Drew going under or behind Sheamus' back, trying to, steal the spotlight, as he says.
Sheamus does not appreciate that.
Oh, no. And it's just the conversation between them, man, just like comical, I guess you could say, like we were talking about earlier. So, I mean, I wouldn't want it to go... I wouldn't mind it going the triple threat route, I guess you could say. But then again, I would want it to be a regular just one-on-one straight up match. No extra factors into who's winning this thing. And if I was to choose, I would want to see Drew kind of pull that off.
Yeah, for sure. I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah, but next up, of course, we still are waiting for this
Live
Charlotte and Shotzi. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Match to finish. She was just announced, I guess.
Because it was the mystery opponent. We didn't know who it was going to be.
But, we got her on the TV right now. She's coming down in TCB. And, we'll let you know our thoughts after this.
And to the surprise of absolutely nobody, Charlotte Flair defeats Shotzi Blackheart with a figure 8, makes her tap out. But somebody comes out, their music hits and everything, kind of caught me off guard, didn't really expect it, although I should have, because she already showed up tonight, so we knew that she was there. Rhea Ripley comes to the ringside and is just hanging out, not on commentary, but just sitting on the commentary table. And Charlotte gives her a front row seat, says, hey, watch this. Quickly puts her in the figure 8, makes her tap out. We get a little bit of a verbal... Let me try that again. We get a little bit of a verbal altercation. I almost said gerbil and several other things. But, yeah, we get a little bit of a verbal altercation between Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, where Rhea seems very confident. She's, I'm looking into your eyes. I'm looking into you so. Mm-hmm. And she says, I am going to basically... Well, she says she sees all of her insecurities as well. And she basically says that at WrestleMania, I'm going to take the one thing that matters most to you, the SmackDown Women's Championship. And Charlotte obviously says, you know what, I will give you credit. You are a beast. You are Rhea Bloody Ripley, which means you tear people limb from limb to get where you want to go. You rip people apart, right? Rhea agrees. Charlotte gets right up in her face and says, accept me. Mic drop, walks away. What are your way too early predictions for this?
Way too early? I can't see Rhea Ripley, dang, tongue twister right there. Someone was talking about you, but I can't see her walking away from this or that match without the title. So, prediction, Rhea Ripley takes that title from Charlotte.
Gotcha. Did Shotzi wow you or anything in this match? There was some sportsmanship.
Shotzi, she comes out, she gives her best, she does her all, I guess you could say, to kind of take in that spotlight that she's given, I guess you could say, whenever she gets the chance. But I was already looking past it. I was thinking, Charlotte even mentioned to you off air, whenever I see somebody of, I guess, Shotzi caliber going against Charlotte, I just automatically think of embarrassment, Toni Storm, pie to the face type stuff. So, that's what comes to my mind whenever something happens like that. And most of the time it goes that direction. Charlotte, she pounds them down, does her signature stuff to kind of show off her greatness, I guess you could say. Come on now.
Gotcha.
But yeah, she definitely, she wiped the floor, let me say that.
Very, very well said. But anyways, we have one more thing to talk about here tonight. I believe so. Of course, you never know. We could get swerved. But we're currently sitting here 8:48 p.m., so 12 minutes before SmackDown goes off the air. Excuse me. And it does look like we're going to get the return of the prodigal brother. Jamie and Jey Uso we're seen walking to the ring with their championships. Are you excited for this segment? I do not know what to expect, to be completely honest. I don't know what we're going to hear. I've heard rumors. I've heard some speculation. I've heard theories. I am just ready to hear Jey speak and I guess just see what he's got to say. What are your thoughts on this as we're getting ready to go into this segment?
I'm on the same side, of course. I don't know which side Jey is still on. Kind of took some context out of context stuff whenever the trust thing came into factor, whenever the face-to-face with Sami and Jey before the super kick. So that kind of before I thought it was, okay, Jay's over here. He's back on the bloodline side. But then, like you said, rumors, theories, I guess you could say, kind of start going out. And I don't know, man. I don't know if Jey did that to kind of hopefully bring Jimmy to this side of the,
Yeah.
But, like I said, I'm totally in a twist here, so. Yeah, about to check this out, seeing what's happening.
And just to prove that they are coming out right now, them being the Usos.
And I got the shirt on. That's all I'm saying.
And John is wearing the exact same shirt that they're wearing as well. So just really quickly, yeah, I'm looking forward to breaking this down and seeing what they say. So we'll be right back after this segment. Well, that segment literally ended. I mean, the little logo at the bottom, sponsored by Progressive, is still on the screen. We're seeing Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn. We're talking about this. That was wild. Oh, yeah. Jey Uso's explanation. He explained very clearly why. I believed every word he said. There was no, I'm lying here, no gimmick. Cross a lot of those theories out. They're not valid. They're not happening. This is clearly, I mean, push came to shove, obviously, during this segment. Clearly, I mean, a super kick happened on Monday, so we already knew that it was way beyond that. But this hit pretty deep, I will say, just if you're invested in this storyline, because, man, that was just tough to watch from a perspective of, like, man, like, we've been rooting for these dudes to stay together, right? Jey Uso, Sammy, just hoping for. And now seeing it officially in, like, this, Jey Uso's officially heel. I mean, if that was any question in your mind, there's no doubt about it. Telling the crowd, addressing them directly. There's multiple, spots in his promo that you can point to that clearly say that. But they, him and Jimmy, they both basically say, and Jey says a lot. Like, honestly, it's about a 5-minute promo, both of the Usos. He goes on and on, explaining his actions and why, and how he blames it all on Sami Zayn and how he could have just fallen in line. But he didn't want to do that, and he was causing major problems in the bloodline, and that led to, obviously, the implosion that we witnessed at the Royal Rumble, and then just weeks and weeks after that, not really knowing what's going on, except for the past few days, since Monday, things seeming a little bit more clear. Tonight, it's crystal clear.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't expect him to call out Cody Rhodes directly. I damn sure didn't expect him to come out immediately. And I didn't know he was going to be there. Like, right. That could have been on me from not, following WWE on social media. I'm not really sure, but I didn't expect to see Cody. Nonetheless, we did. And, he comes out and he just simply says, like, hey, if you're going to talk about me, which I've heard my name a lot, why don't you go ahead and speak directly to me? And basically, Jimmy Uso says, if you take one more step closer, you're not going to make it to WrestleMania. And, as you know, Sami Zayn sneaks in through the bottom of the ring, tackles Jey Uso. In comes Cody Rhodes. We're brawling 2-on-2. The baby faces here, Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes, end up getting the better of them. It spills off into the announce table, into the crowd. Eventually, they go back up the ramp, the Usos, that is, and Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn are standing there with their hands being raised. What'd you think about this? Just in general, what'd you think about Jay's explanation and just where you stand literally right after all this took place?
Well, I am glad that Jay clarified, I felt like he did hold back a little bit whenever he was trying to figure out that person to blame. And ultimately, I think Roman is to blame,
100%.
Being a manipulator, can't even get that word out, manipulator, I guess you could
Manipulative.
say. Yeah, let's just cut
That's
that
the
out.
adjective.
Y'all know what I'm saying. I've said it once already. But yeah, I think Roman, I mean, he has definitely played that part of, trying to break apart this, like brothers in certain situations, like, hey, if you don't do this, this happens. If you don't do that, that happens, I guess you could say. And he's just playing his little puppeteer up there,
Oh, yeah.
He's just pulling strings and stuff like that. So that was where I was kind of just like, come on, Jay, you got to kind of start pointing that direction or that needle in the right direction, I guess you could say, And I don't want to see it, but I mean, obviously we see it, as viewers, I guess you could say. And I don't know, man. I felt like he just kind of shorted himself a little bit, It's like you can't just keep blaming Sami Zayn, I did think that maybe he was going to be done with them, but here comes Sami Zayn back into the picture after they tried to say, oh, Sammy's he's not a problem no more.
Yeah.
We're past him. And then, of course, Jimmy, speaking out on Cody Rhodes, and here comes Sami Zayn back into the picture. So I don't think that Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens are done. I think they still have some type of little way to wiggle themselves back in. I know they're not seeing eye to eye on this situation. Kevin Owens, he's been saying it. He's been going at the bloodline for 8 months.
I was hoping that Kevin Owens would be the one that helped Cody.
That's what I was kind of thinking, or at least because I didn't think like Sami Zayn, just got taken out. Maybe he just kind of let the heat
lay low for a little bit.
He get off him, and like I said, Kevin Owens has been doing this for a while, and I was kind of maybe thinking, but then again, the whole Cody Rhodes even coming out was kind of a surprise to me too, just because hey, SmackDown type stuff. But here we go, got 2 Raw guys over here taking Usos, and hey man, this story is still going.
It is, and it's only getting better. It's only getting juicier. WrestleMania could be the blow-off, but who knows at this point? They could try to run this thing as long as they possibly can, but I do believe that a tag team match, Usos, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens, is going to be a major match at WrestleMania, and I can't wait for that.
I kind of see like a men's happening somewhere along the line, the way that, just that little discussion between Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, he just kind of, or Kevin Owens just told him how he felt about it. Sami just walked away, no words or anything like that. I don't know if you remember it, but I think something is going to have to happen for them to at least work together in some type of way for this to work out in favor of them.
Yeah, I agree. Things are going to be interesting for sure. Looking forward to next week. Obviously, we get Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, #1 contenders match, and probably some other things. We'll likely get more Rey Mysterio action. Probably another inductee. We'll probably get one on Raw, maybe another one on SmackDown as well. I like that they're waiting a while and making the surprise kind of build up. The Rey Mysterio one blew me away. I didn't expect that, but that just tells you this class might be a little bit different than years past. And hey, I'm all for that. Sign me up for a unique class. But that does do it for us here on the SmackDown review. I'm going to go ahead and close it up here. John's got to get on the road for his softball tournament. I got to get down there and eat before I have to record another show. But hey, this is record time, baby. 9:05 p.m. SmackDown just went off the air about 5 minutes ago, and John and I are wrapping up this show. Never done this in the history of me doing this. This is my 125th SmackDown review, and I have not ever done like a live watch along style. So this is a pretty fun format. John and I have kind of talked about possibly doing this going forward. Who knows? You guys let us know in the Discord, on the Patreon app. Let us know how'd you like this format, because this is so different. But I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's 9 o'clock and we're finished. So obviously, but hey, if you guys like the letting the situation, letting the show marinate and breaking it down in its entirety, we can do that as well. We're versatile here. We're a bit of a spark plug, if you will. But either way, we hope you guys have a phenomenal weekend. Enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. Walk passionately in the direction of your dreams, and we'll talk to you soon. Go Celtics.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.